Oh, hey everybody. Um, this is part 5 of my online relationship video. And I think we might actually be able to finish my story. I don't know, we might, I don't know, this might have to be about an extra, a little bit longer than usual, or than my last one, just because I don't know, I don't want to make 14,000 parts, because that's annoying, but I know, then again, nobody wants to listen to me talk for a straight freaking, whatever, 4 or 5 hours. This is Cody, by the way. What's up, Cody? Say hi. Um, anyway, so at the end of my last story, well, I had survived the Aboriginals trying to kill me, and I woke up in my hotel, or in my backpacker's bedroom, or whatever. Okay. Um, woke up like 4 o'clock in the afternoon that day, and this is the part of the story where, um, what? This is the part of the story where everything kind of takes a turn for the worse. It's, I guess, like what I call it when I talk to people at my current job, or my last current job, which I think I pretty much just quit as of a couple days ago. They screwed me out of a lot of hours, but anyways, we'll get to that. Um, but as I call it the steady decline of my life. everything, everything kind of really went to a very, I don't know, it just went bad. But anyways, the things I'm about to tell you in this part here are very personal, and it was probably me at one of my worst times in my life, and I honestly don't know why I'm gonna share it with anyone, but uh, part of it is because I don't know, I can't really leave a lot of people hanging like that. That sucks. Like a movie with a sequel that doesn't come out for the next 3 years. And then also it's the fact that for people that are actually watching my videos because they're in an online relationship, um, uh, the people that are in it are in one. I don't know. I feel like they need to have some hope. They need to know what they're. I mean, obviously, a lot of them aren't going to be like mine, aren't going to be so extreme. But I want you to know that there is good and bad, and there's dark times and there's beautiful times. And anyways, I'm sorry, Cody. I gotta turn off my chat so I can focus here. Oh wait, what? Anyways, that's good. So I woke up the next day about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I went up to my job and I got some coffee and everything. I came back and everything I owned was gone. Okay, everything. My clothes, everything that I wasn't wearing was gone. My shoes, I had to put on a pair of flip flops, which are called what did they call flip flops over there? I forgot. Shit. Um, I can't even remember now. They had a different name for them. Flip flops is the American version of them. Oh, thongs. They were called thongs. Um, anyways, so I mean everything I had was gone. Okay, so I went down to the office. I talked to people in my room because I'd been staying there for like 3 or 4 days without paying because I didn't have enough money. So I went downstairs and I talked to the guy that owned the place and I told him the story that I've told you guys. Minus the part about the Aboriginals. I pretty much told him everything. And he agreed that it was kind of a shitty ordeal, and he understands and everything. So he decided that he would let me stay there a couple more days. He made me go up to my job and get an advance in my pay so I could pay him for the last couple days I stayed there. But then after that, he let me stay for a couple days without having to worry about paying for it. So I went and I worked a couple days more at Orion's, washing dishes, and I was cooking now. But Kia had just went home on vacation, right? This was a couple days later. She had just went home back. She was headed back to Bega, or whatever. And up there in Byron Bay, everything is very expensive. Even rent at a bedroom with 6 fucking other people, or with one, two, three, four, five, six, with 6 bunk beds in it. It had an upstairs and a downstairs, but that's like 12 people A room like that is $240 a week, and I was only making like $12 an hour, which in Australia is very shitty. Um, so I couldn't really afford it, and I felt like I wouldn't really get anywhere. So, and then I went to work one day, and my boss, his name was Michael, I remember, he cut my hours, because, it was like Byron Bay is a popular tourist attraction place, and, he just didn't need me as much. So I knew that it would be a waste of time to even try to think about staying there. So, the last day I was in Byron Bay, I kind of quit my job in a shitty way. I went to work, I got there about 30 minutes early. I realized I was early, and I was feeling weird, and so I told somebody that I would be right back, and I went back to my hostel, and I packed up everything I owned, and I left. And I paid the guy. I was debating on whether or not to pay him, but he did help me out a lot, and even though if I did need the money, like I probably only had maybe $120 or so at the time, even if I did need the money, I decided it was best to pay him because he did help me out, and I should return the favor, even if I couldn't really afford it. But anyways, I used up my travel plane thingy, or my travel ticket. I used up another use on it, so now I had 2 uses left. And I went all the way back to Bega via train, or I went to Sydney via train, and I got to Sydney. And I talked to my mom, and I was updating her on everything because I was being more honest with her now, because she had pretty much made me, and she, she would have like bugged me to death to make sure I was okay, and ask me what I ate and how much I ate and all that good stuff. She was very, very senile about everything, but I mean, it's understandable. But she I don't know. She sent me. I can't remember how much she sent me. I think she sent me like a $50 or something. I can't really remember. And I I got to Sydney, and I decided that, or I had to wait around for my mom to send money because of the time difference, so I couldn't really go on my train as scheduled, which would go to Canberra and then take another bus back to Bega. So I waited for my mom. She sent me my money, and she I hitchhiked from Sydney back down to Bega, and this time it was a lot easier, and I got there pretty quick. I remember at that night it was 10 o'clock at night time, and it was dark, and I was still 70 kilometers from Sydney, or from Bega, and I didn't have a lot of money. No, I didn't have any money actually. I think I had $60 maybe. No, I had $100. That's right. But I was standing across the street from a hotel, but I knew that hotel would cost at least $60 or $70 to stay there for the night, and I couldn't afford it. So there was no way in hell I would walk to be a 70 kilometers if I had to. But I was standing out by the road. I was out by a street light, and I was holding my thumb out every car that came by. And after about an hour, it was getting. Or I was there for about an hour, and it was about 10:30 now. And somebody stopped, and he asked me where I was headed. I said I'm heading to Bega. He's like, "Well, you're in luck because I'm going right past there." And he's like, "I usually don't stop and pick up people at nighttime, but I need somebody to keep me awake." And we talked to the guy, and I pretty much fell asleep the whole time. I think he was sleeping too, because he was swerving all over the road. And as I finally got to Bega, and he dropped me off at the backpackers hostel, and I spent the night there. I woke up the next morning, and I went and I saw Kia. Or no, Kia came over to see me, I think, is what it was. And that was a couple days later. She came over to see me, and we did our thing, and everything. Oh wait, no. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh yes, I'm very ahead of myself. I got back to Bega that night, and I'm pretty sure Kia's mom wasn't so mad at me anymore. She didn't know that I went up to Byron Bay, because right before I had left to leave to go to Sydney originally, to actually go towards Kia, she had called me and told me how disappointed she was in me. She had called me, and I ignored her call because I figured she was going to do something stupid. But anyways, I got back to Bega, and after spending the day looking for a house and everything, and like looking for some kind of emergency housing, because that was the time I only had $18 left, and I was looking so desperately for somewhere to go and something, but nobody could help me out because I wasn't a citizen or anything like that. So I was mad at Kia's mom. But anyways, I guess Kia had talked to her a lot, and all this drama that was going on got actually cleared up while Kia and I were on vacation. Well, that's what I call it. We were on vacation together. But so anyways, Kia's mom didn't hate me, and it was a great feeling, because I mean, especially after all I did, even though Kia's mom didn't know about it, I'd still went a long fucking way. And all I did was wanted to, give Kia a hug, check out some of the countryside of Australia, which is beautiful. And in this episode, I'm going to show you guys a lot of pictures, so be ready. Um, anyways, so I got back to Beacon. I stayed, Kia's mom let me stay the weekend with her there, and I was looking for a job, and I had resorted to fruit picking. And I mean, at the time I was like, okay, well, that's cool. The only part I didn't like is that I would have to travel, go somewhere like to Mildura or somewhere really far away where there's a lot of fruit, or those big farms and stuff, or tomato, or vegetables and all that good shit. So, but I found one in Bundaberg, which is in Queensland. It was a long way away, and I was about freaking 10 seconds from booking my plane ticket, and I looked it up online and read the most horrible things in my life. Like, it had cockroaches and bed bugs and shit, and that the people that would go up there, like, you either pay $50 for a bond, which is a deposit, or or you give them your passport. And I read a story about these two Dutch guys that gave their passports, and they put them on a waiting list to work, and they couldn't get work for 3 weeks, so they ran out of money. The dudes kicked them out and kept their passports and left them hanging on the streets. And I was like, there is no fucking way I'm going there, dude. I'll kill some dude. And anyways, so I'd shown Kia's mom and everything. She's like, oh, well, you definitely can't go there. She was actually being very helpful, and she was nice to me for the first time in months. And I don't know, it was so amazing. Anyways, I eventually found a place called Tenterfield, which was about 60 miles inland of where I just fucking came from on fucking 38 hours of traveling, and I have to go back. Okay. But I called her, and the lady was telling me about it, and she was like, yeah, it's going to be like $350 for you to get in and everything. I was like, well, okay, well, that's cool. I can come up with that. And I ended up working a day for the guy, my old boss, who originally went on vacation. But I don't think maybe he's like developed a not liking for me. I don't know if it was something I said or something I did. To this day, I still don't know. But the day I worked with him a day before, and Kia's mom had lent me $150, right? And at this time, I still owed her $500, and then she gave me another $150. So now I owed her $650, and I agreed that she made me promise that I would not come back to Bega until I had paid her back in full and got myself set up. I think I didn't hear the last part about getting myself set up, but apparently she had said that. Anyways, I went and I worked with Jason was my boss's name. I worked with him for a day. And we did some stupid shit like move bricks and stuff, and we were talking all day, right? And he was out asking me about my travels and where I'd been, and then when he found out I was back staying in Bega for the last few days, he's like, oh, where have you been staying? And I told him I was staying with Kia, and he's like, oh, well, where do you sleep? I was like, oh, I sleep in Kia's bed. And he was like thinking, I don't know, maybe I think it come off as I was bragging about sleeping with her or something. Anyways, I even went after work and I had a beer with him and everything. Like we were cool, I mean, he's the one who gave me my bicycle, which actually got me around everywhere. And he was, I don't know, and but I guess I don't know if he told his wife and his wife misinterpreted it. And because of Kia, she was a couple years younger than me. People had, or I don't know. So I guess I can't remember his wife's name. It's probably better that I don't say it because I'll probably just get pissed off at her because she's a dumb cunt. But she had called Kia's mom and told her that I was up at work bragging to Glenn and Jason. Glenn was the other guy that worked with us up there bragging about having sex with her daughter. And I didn't know about this. I was already on a train headed north to Tenterfield. And I get to Tenterfield, okay? And I check into this place, and the lady says, okay, it's $308 total. $156 bond, $156 for your first week's rent. So, I think that's right. 56, 12, I don't know. Anyway, something like that. And I only had $310. So, I gave her my money. And I had no money. I had no food. Okay, I had $2 left to my name. And I said, can I keep $10 so I can buy some kind of food tomorrow? And she's like, oh, no, we don't do that here. I'm sorry. And she said, you should probably go ask the people in your room for some money or something. I was like, you want me to go up here and ask people that I don't even know for money so I can buy food? And I told her, I was so pissed off. And from that moment on, I had a really bad feeling about the place. But anyways, my job from then on out was to get a bucket, right? A 20-liter bucket, which is a little more than a 5-gallon bucket, and fill it up with tomatoes. Every time I fill it up with tomatoes, I get $2. Now, I don't know if you guys think it's good or bad. It has a lot of potential if you're fast. At first, the first day I was there, I picked like 35 buckets and made, I know I picked like 30 buckets and made $60 for 9 hours worth of work. And I was fucking pissed. I wanted to go home. I wanted to leave. I just wanted to die. And Kia had called me that night, and she had explained to me what had happened. That what's her name? I can't remember her freaking name, dude. Jason's wife had called and told Kia's mom about that I was up there bragging about having sex with her daughter. And Kia didn't believe me either. I was like, Kia, you know I wouldn't do something like that. You know, why would I go do that? And why would I do that to you? And but neither one of them would believe me, and that really hurt a lot. That really broke my heart. And so I'm hurt really bad, you know, and I'm out here picking tomatoes, and I found a way to channel all my I guess my depression or my anger or whatever you want to call it. I found a way to channel all that into picking tomatoes. And I know that sounds dumb, but if I'm trying to give you a picture of what it's like, it's 45 Celsius outside. Probably no, it wasn't that. It was probably about 40 Celsius, which is right around um it was right around the shit. I'm sorry, I totally lost train of thought. Um, I channeled myself into picking tomatoes, and okay, oh yeah, I was picturing the tomatoes for you. You gotta. It's probably about 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside, 95 to 100, and you have a roll that Oh, I'm trying to focus. Um. Okay, you got a roll that's a kilometer long. You probably have about, if you stick your arms out as wide as you can on both directions, like you know what I mean? Picture this in your head or whatever. But you stick your arms out in both directions as far as you can go, like you're hanging on a cross type thing or whatever. You had about half of that amount of room to actually, in between the rows, okay? And you have your bucket, and you pick up your bucket along, and you pick the tomatoes, and you go down these rows that are like a kilometer long. And you go and you just pick tomatoes, and when you fill up a bucket, you hold it up over your head, and you say bucket really loud. And a bucket boy will come, and he will run, and you toss the bucket to him, he'll toss you an empty bucket, and you go back to picking tomatoes. And you got paid $2 every time you filled up a bucket. So, I'm not gonna lie, you guys know, I do Jad a lot, I kill fucking everything on RuneScape. I honestly think I'm a pretty badass PKer, but I don't really make PK videos. I don't know. But, I'm fast, okay? Like, I don't know. I'm amazing. I found out ways to fill up tomato buckets in about 45 seconds. And I think it took me about a minute and 20 seconds. We were picking little bitty tomatoes, which are called egg tomatoes, because we had two different types of tomatoes. And, thanks, buddy. So, I mean, I was a badass tomato picker, okay? And I was there for 2 weeks. I hated it. I was so depressed, but all I did was listen to music. And I listened to a lot of dubstep and a lot of hardstyle, and a lot of just, like, Eminem was another big inspiration that really drove me. Like, his newest album, 25 to, or, Recovery, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, I listened to that entire album a lot, and that music really just the whole music that kind of described my life was the stuff that just kept me going so hard. And I managed to make about $4 grand in about 2.5 weeks. Okay, and that's very impressive because the Koreans are only making $1,500 a week, and I was a badass. I'm not gonna lie. So anyways, I quit the place. I got real sick. I wasn't eating right, and I have a lot of people in my clan chat. There's all these people that watch it. So, oh man, where was I? Anyways, and I got real sick, and I wasn't eating right, so I was really depressed. You know, I was horribly, horribly depressed because Kia was, I still couldn't get her to believe me. I couldn't, I couldn't get her to, see that I loved her, and look what I had already done for her. I had gone around the world. I've walked across Australia pretty much, and I I just done all these things for her, and why wouldn't she believe me? And why couldn't I make her mom see? Just all these questions, and I couldn't answer them. I didn't have the answers. I couldn't find the answers. And it was it was gutting. It was horrible. So that I managed to make about $4 grand in about 2.5 weeks, and I told a lady that I stayed home 2 days in a row, and I went downstairs to talk to her. I'd already went to this thing and booked my bus ticket. I went up to the library. I didn't have a laptop at the time, so I went up to the library and used their computer and booked my ticket. And everything, and it was booked on Monday, and this was a Saturday. I went down to talk to Barbara, which is the bitch that owns the place, and she was a real bitch, and I'm not saying that because I hate women. I'm saying that because she was an absolute fucking bitch. Like, she kicked some girl out on the streets at 10 o'clock at night because they wanted her bed because she said she was leaving in the next week. Like, oh no, we need your bed right now, and boom, she kicked her out on the fucking streets. Luckily, she had a friend that was leaving that night, and she got a ride somewhere else. I don't know where they went, but it was pretty. I mean, they were some fucked up people. They treated everybody like slaves because we were all, foreigners and all that good stuff and everything. Anyways, back to my story. Um, I went down there to talk to her, and she was like, "Oh, are you going back to work tomorrow?" I was like, "No, I don't think so." She's like, "Well, are you going back to work at all?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, "Well, you can't stay here if you don't work." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I already booked my bus ticket for Monday." And she's like, "Oh no, you'll be out a lot sooner than that." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, I ended up leaving like 7 o'clock the next morning. And all I want to do, I didn't want to take a bus. I went to the end of town, and I was looking for a bus or something, but no buses came in this little bitty fucking hole in the wall town. And so I couldn't really get out, so I had to hitchhike. So I stuck my thumb out once again. First guy that stopped was a guy in like an RV camper thingy, and he showed me or he was telling me about it was his own personal heartbreaking story. It was about how he his wife had died, and he'd spent all his time running away from her. He spent all his time, all his money on traveling because he couldn't stay in one spot because she would catch him. And I don't know if the guy was crazy. I mean, at first I thought he was crazy. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But later, as my story will go on, you'll find out that I think that guy was there for a reason in my life to maybe prepare me and teach me something. But um, he ended up giving me a ride 5 hours out of the way to an airport, and I got on a plane and I went back to Sydney. As soon as I got to Sydney, Kia and I got in a huge fight. I stopped sleeping. I couldn't do anything. I was in the Sydney for a couple of days, and I was so pissed off, and I just wanted. I don't know. I can't remember what we got in a fight about. I don't really want to talk about it, actually. But we got in a huge fight over everything. Like, she wouldn't believe me, and I couldn't get her to believe me, and how I wasn't good enough, and I was falling apart, guys. And I'm not gonna lie. And I had all this extra money saved up. I was gonna go back to Bega, and I was gonna go there and just actually have a house and be stable for a while, and I could be happy. But I ended up getting. She hurt me, man. I told her, I got mad at her, and I said, "Look, man, I've done everything for you. I've gave you the world. I, I, I gave up my entire life for you. I dropped my whole family. I dropped my lifestyle. I graduated school early. I gave up college, and I moved around the world for you. And you won't believe me, and you won't even stand up to your mom and say, look, um, he's trying, and I love him or something, anything. Yeah, you can't even do that." And she said it was too hard. She couldn't do it. So all that money that I had saved up was spent, and I went and I bought a laptop, the laptop I have now. And well, the first thing I did, I walked into the bank and put $1,000 in Kia's mom's bank account. 2.5 weeks later, after she had said, you can't come back, I didn't really care. And when the guy asked me if I wanted to leave a personal message on there, he said, he was all asking me, did they loan you money or something, or you owe them money? And I was like, nah, just a gift. He was like, oh, well, that's fucking awesome. And he's like, you want to leave a personal message for him? I was like, yeah, put enjoy. He's like, enjoy. And he put an exclamation point, and I was like, no, just put a period, man. He's like, that's funny. And I don't even think she read the note, but the sarcasm, enjoy, just like the whole like underlying thing, like, oh, you're a complete bitch, but here you go, take this. Anyway, so I bought the laptop. I bought a badass laptop, and I put $1,000 in Kia's mom's bank account, and the rest of my money was spent over the next couple months staying away from Kia, the thing I had never wanted to do in the first place. I never wanted to stay away from her. I always wanted to be with her, but she'd hurt me so bad. She'd made me so mad. So over the next couple months, my head is spinning. Um, I don't know. I was going into the deepest depression of my life. I was like I played RuneScape a lot because I got free internet where I was staying, and I don't know. I don't. I guess RuneScape isn't really incorporated. I mean, that was just the only thing I could do. I stayed up all the time. I never slept. I was I was just I don't know. I was so gone. Kia had ripped my heart out. You know. I mean, we were still together. I guess I don't know. Or yeah, we were still together. But I mean, I just didn't talk to her. I always ignored her. You know, she would try to talk to me. You know, all I wanted was to do was just fade away. I couldn't go home. I didn't want to go home. Even when I had the money, I said no. I'm not going home because it was too hard to accept the defeat. I couldn't give it up. I After everything I'd done, and I was just gonna go home and drop it all off and leave and go home and face my family and my friends and everybody that told me I could never do it. I couldn't face them, so I stayed and I rotted away in my own little prison in my head. I rotted away, and it got to a point where um, I'm gonna be honest here, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel sorry for me or anything, but um, I I honestly wanted to kill myself because I had lost. In my head I had lost the game. I had lost Kia. I had lost myself. I had lost my family, my friends. I felt like I was lost, you know, and it was an absolute horrible feeling that I'll never forget. And I remember that the day that that something actually happened. Um, it was I had posted on Facebook that I'm about to take the same road as my dad, and I'm not even kidding. And I don't think of any. A few of my friends know this, but my dad had actually killed himself about this. He actually right around Christmas time, right on Christmas night, actually. He had he had got really drunk and took a bunch of pills and ended up hanging himself, and so he killed himself. And I posted on my Facebook for all my friends and family. I said I'm about to take the same road as my dad. I'm not even kidding. I said I can't take it anymore. And then all of a sudden, every friend that I ever had, every family member that I've ever spoke to, people I didn't know, they were talking to me, man. They were like, "Whoa, what the fuck, dude? You can't, you know, look what you've done. You know, you've done such an amazing thing. You you went there and you got there, and I know things aren't working out now. Maybe it's time to give up. You know, maybe it's time to come home." But I wouldn't listen to them. You know, I was like, "I can't come home. I can't. I'm not gonna do that." I couldn't accept that defeat. You know, there's no way. I'd never give up. That was the one thing my dad always taught me, was to never give up. No matter how bad things were, I promised myself I would never ever give up. And my I don't know, my friends and my family were talking to me a lot more, and they had made me in a very big way. They had helped me out, but it wasn't enough to fight my depression. And I never once resorted to doing drugs. I never once resorted to drinking to get rid of my problems. Those were always something I did for fun because I was always scared that I don't think addiction really has a major part in anything for me because my mind is I'm way too strong-headed to, you know, be beaten by pills or drugs or anything like that. I'm way too strong-headed for that and strong-hearted. So, but the only thing I was scared of was doing them and not wanting, like, just wanting more and more. Not really an addiction type thing, but I knew that it wouldn't be enough to satisfy me. I would do too much, or I would be so gone, and I didn't want to break anybody's heart like I did. But it got to a point where I was literally about to just go out, and I was I was crossing roads with my eyes closed, you know, just in Sydney, just hoping something would just hit me, and I was so gone, and I was never myself for so long. But The only thing that stopped me, and I know it sounds really stupid, but the thing that had made me go into my depression was Kia. Not wanting, not being good enough for Kia after all I had done. You know, if I wasn't good enough now, what would ever be good enough? What, what could I possibly do? What could anybody in the world do that was better than what I've done here? And that was the reason I went into my depression. And the thing that stopped me from killing myself was, Kia. I I know how I felt when my dad killed himself, and I know that I would never want to do that to Kia or my family or anyone that knows me. I would never want to hurt anybody like that. But so I guess I just hung in there, and I took it day by day. And one day, I had a bunch of just random shit that I had bought, and spent money on or whatever. I started selling it all, and right here, I don't know if she's still in here. Draken right here had actually, she sent me like $50, and I was trying to get money together because I wanted to go see Kia. One morning I woke up and I was like, I don't want this anymore. Kia and I were actually okay, and she'd actually started to believe me about how I didn't like go and brag about having sex with her or anything like that to whoever. But her mom still wouldn't believe me, but I didn't really care. And I decided I needed to see her. I hadn't seen her for 2 months. I just stayed in Sydney away from her. So I got all my things together and I hitchhiked to Bega. I had $200 to my name. I rented a room for the week. I bought some groceries. I couldn't afford that much groceries because they were really expensive. But every day I went out and I looked for a job from the time everything opened until the time everything closed. And every day I looked and I couldn't find anything. I called my old boss. I called both of them. I called everybody that was in my phone that had any type of work, my neighbors, anything I could think of to find work, and I couldn't find anything. I ran out of food a couple days later. I didn't eat for 4 days, and I was staying there. The only reason I actually got to eat was because a lady from Canada was staying in the same hostel as me, and she always cooked dinner every night. It was just me and her because the place never really got much business. But she had just fed me every night, asked me if I wanted dinner. And she pretty much knew I didn't have any groceries, so I guess she kind of helped me out a lot. But I didn't eat for 4 days at some point, and then she came along, and I was still so depressed, And I'd only seen Kia once, and Kia's mom had still hated me so much now that, like, even when she dropped Kia off a couple times, even when she did that, she would drop Kia off a block down the road so that she wouldn't have to look at me. And it it was horrible. It was the most heartbreaking thing ever. And I got so hurt over it, and I got mad at Kia, and I was telling her, I was like, man, you gotta stand up for me. I can't keep doing this anymore, Kia. Look what I've done. What do I have to do to show you that I care about you? And then I just wanna, I don't know what I wanted her. I just wanted you to fight for me like I fought for you. And she looked at me and asked me what I wanted her to do. And I said, you just tell your mom that I'm trying, and that she may not like me, but I wouldn't do nothing like that to hurt you like that, and I wouldn't do that. And you have to stand up for me because I gave you everything you possibly dreamed of. Okay, when we were sitting on a computer 15,000 kilometers away, just wanting each other, I was the one that, I held us together, while we were going through hard times. I did it, and I came here for you, and I didn't do it for any other reason except for you. And if you can't even do this for me, then what am I doing here? And she looked at me, and the thing that stopped my heart was when she looked at me and told me she can't do that because it's too hard. And my heart absolutely sank. And after all I had went through, after being homeless, being so broke that I couldn't afford food, after almost starving to death, literally, after traveling the world, having nothing, sleeping outside, it was too hard for her to say a couple words to her mom for me. And it broke my heart. It absolutely broke my heart. And I called my mom that night, and I told her I want to go home. I want out of here. And she told me that she would get the money together and she would get me home. And a couple of days later, she got the money together. And she sent me $100, and I had to get back to Sydney. That last day that I saw Kia, she came over in the morning, and one of the biggest mistakes I regret now was not telling her the reason why I left. I was mad at her. I hated her for what she had done to me and what she had made me. But I never told her because I didn't want to hurt her. I told her goodbye. I gave her my dad's wallet that I'd always kept with me. And I gave her my jacket. And I still had a bunch of stuff at her house, but I didn't even care. I didn't want it. I just took my bag. I took my lucky backpack and my bag, and I told her goodbye. I walked her to school that day, and the last time I saw her was when she was walking into the school building. I was walking down the road and leaving. It started raining that day, and it didn't stop raining. It actually started flooding, and Kia was flooded in her house the next day. And I guess we still kind of talked. When we talked, we were fighting like really bad, and oh man, I don't know how much time I've left in this, or whatever. But we were fighting really bad, so I didn't really talk to her a lot. But it started raining, and the first day I hitchhiked, I only traveled about 30 kilometers, and it was raining so bad that I'd stood out in the rain for at least 8 hours. I was soaked. Everything I owned was soaking wet. It was just miserable. So I rented a room, and I stayed the night. I kept missing the bus because the weather would delay it, and I couldn't figure out what time the bus got there. And I ended up actually making it to Sydney finally. And I got into a place. I rented a room at the Backpackers Hotel, and I sat there, and I couldn't sleep. I was only there for about 5 hours, and my mom had called me and told me that she had booked my plane, and it leaves in about 4 hours, and I got everything ready, and packed up my stuff. My bag was absolutely falling apart, my old duffel bag, so I had to like tape it up with duct tape and stuff, but I don't know, I got it all together. And I remember I got on the plane that day, and I hadn't slept in 2 or 3 days because I was just so messed up in my head. But she the last text message I sent Kia when I was in Australia, I was sitting on a plane. It's a Chinese Airlines, and I went to China and stopped over there, and then I went to California, and the plan was to stay with my cousin because my mom didn't have enough money for a plane ticket to get me all the way to Dallas, Texas. So she got me to California where I could stay with my cousin for a week or so. And I told her, I never told her why I left. All I told her was that I loved her. Maybe one day could work it all out. Maybe one day I could actually go back. But I ended up leaving, and so I'm gonna I'm gonna have to make another part to this, but that was pretty much my time in Australia. 6 months. I spent a year of my life trying and fighting. In total, I got 2 months with Kia, 4 months of being homeless. No, 3 months of being homeless. No, 2 months of being homeless, I'm sorry. 2 months with Kia, 2 months of being homeless, and 2 months hating her and wanting to stay away from her. And when I left, it absolutely killed me. I went into my darkest days then, which I'm not gonna continue anything else, but I did leave Australia and I left Kia. I left her standing there. As soon as I left, she shut me out of her life. She blocked me on Facebook, blocked me on MSN. She blocked me on everything. She didn't talk to me. It broke my heart. But I just wanted to share this story with everyone. I want you to know that whether you don't know if it's going to end or not, but if I had known it was going to end like this, would I have done the same? And my answer to that is yes, I would have. Because I believe it's better to have loved and lost and to not know what could have been, what you should have been. Kia was my world. Like everything, you know, in reality, if you look at it, nothing really lasts forever. Nothing is forever. I know that's a hard thing to accept. But you would think that after all I went through, after all Kia and I both went through, that it wouldn't have ended like that. It shouldn't have ended. She should have stopped me from walking away. I shouldn't have walked away. But you can't live with those regrets. I just, I don't know, I should probably end this soon. It's 41 minutes long. But I just wanted to tell everyone about my story. Online relationships are possible, and sometimes they're a bit extreme, and sometimes they don't work, but you know what, sometimes they do. I know a lot of people that are happy together right now because of something they've even met on RuneScape or anything like that. Oh, I just wanted to, I guess that's why I never really quit this game. Because this game it helped mold me into the person I am today. This game taught me a lot of things, and it's not because I played it all the time. It's because the people I meet, everyone I see, this guy, you know, these people here, you know, all these people right here in the clan chat, all these people on my friends list are people that I know by name, and these are just everyone, you know. I don't know how to explain it. The people you meet on this game are the people that'll help you. That doesn't make sense. It's not what I mean. The people on this game, some of them, like Michelle, she's amazing. Cody, man, you're awesome, and God, just all these people, all of you, man. I couldn't even name you all. Brandon, Chris, Nene, and all of you guys are just amazing. You know, I just want you to know I'd do anything for you guys on any day. Even if I had to walk to you to freaking help you change a tire on your car or something, you know. It mean the world to me. Without you, you know, a lot of everything that's happened to me, you know, you guys have always been there for me, and my family and my other friends in real life, you know, they've always been there for me. And I just, I'm getting way off track, but I just wanted to let everybody know this is my story. This is why I play RuneScape. Because it's more than a game. It's not an obsession. It's just, it's an uplifting feeling. It's very uplifting. And you will learn so many life lessons. Maybe not in the game so much, but things that people you talk to, the people you'll meet. Kia. Anybody. I met the love of my life on this game. I went through the hardest times of my life. I went through the deepest, darkest depression in my life because of this game. I was the happiest I've ever been in my life because of this game. And it's just, it's amazing that a browser game would be the reason I'm here right now. But anyways, I just wanted to share my story with everyone, and everything is 100% true. I'm gonna make another video, a real life video showing myself and pictures that I have and a lot of things that throughout my adventure. And I'll upload that tomorrow probably. But this is the finale to my online relationship series. This is my story. Mr. Russo, I'm the crazy guy that gets fire capes and moves around the world for beautiful women. What do you know? It's an odd combination. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for always watching my videos or whatever. And if I have inspired you in any way, I want you to leave a comment below. You know, just send me a message, you know, if you have any questions about anything, and I'll help you out any way I can. I'm going to make more videos, so if you guys aren't subscribed, just subscribe so that way you know when I'm going to post more videos. Because I plan on making a lot of videos in the future, possibly a bunch of real life ones, and maybe, you know, tips on how to make an online relationship work, or, you know, just anything I can think of. I'm gonna help out you with anything. If you have any questions, requests, or anything like that, just leave a comment or send me a message, and I will definitely get back to you. Once again, I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I want you to always remember that love knows no boundaries. No matter if you meet somebody in a bar, on a game, anywhere on the internet, at the park, love will conquer all, and it'll take you to the craziest places you've ever been. Most importantly, never give up. Giving up should never be an option. There's always another way. There's always a way to make something work without giving up. You just have to find it. You have to be strong enough to find it. And that's all I really have to say. And I thank you guys so much for listening to my story. Log.zip. This whole series was actually made for you. Because I just wanted to show you that, which I guess what you couldn't believe. I know there's a small chance that online relationships won't work, but there's also, there's a small chance that they do work. But even if that percentage is less than 1,000th of a percentage, 1,000th of 1% or whatever, me personally, I'm gonna take those odds. I would take them any day. And anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'm gonna end the video now. Bye.